Peace, 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 people. Sad news, sad news, sad news to report. Another person has been found deceased, presumably by murder, found in a well or a pit, I think they call it. Something to do with suckaways. I'm not quite sure, but this person is from the UK. She's a Caribbean, 60 years old, Shakina, Chinedu. I believe that she had to deal with land dispute cases, and she also was a landowner herself. So the story was that she was missing for a few days and somehow was found in the pit, and her face or her head was bruised up and dirt on her face. So someone with a lot of rage, or some people with a lot of rage, did that to this lady, Shakina. And the sad part about it is probably the fact that she really was the face of repatriation. I'm going to show videos about her journey trying to get people motivated for the so-called movement to repatriation. And this is what she has succumbed to with being viciously attacked. How you doing, Tyron and Alexis? How you doing? So, yes, let's get to one of her videos. In case you guys don't know who she is, I'm not really privy to her that much because I only heard of her through hearsay of scams in times past. But this situation right here, where she ultimately was probably taken out over a land dispute, if I had to guess, but there still needs to be an investigation to confirm whether or not that is truly the case. But here she is when she spoke of the love of repatriation.
I live here in the Gambia. I'm representing the African Diaspora Returnees Association. And we are a group of people who have returned to live in Gambia because we see ourselves as Africans. So I'm representing that group.
Why did you make the decision, knowing that Africa has a history of political instability, history of backwardness in terms of economy, corruption, and all that? You left the life that you lived in probably in the Caribbean or in the UK or somewhere in America to come and live in the Gambia.
Wow, you made some sweeping statements there. Political instability, poor economy. That's not the Africa that I see. That's the Africa that the BBC and the CNN tells us about. Africa's our home as Black people, and we have to make it what it is. If you think the West was paved with gold, it wasn't. I was born in the UK, but I was always made to know I was never accepted there as a Black person. So you see the difference. You know, even though I was born there, and I should be able to say, yes, it was wonderful there, but it wasn't. The discrimination is still there. My parents faced it in the 60s. I faced it, you know, as I was growing up. My children are facing it. It's not changing for us. So it's imperative that we come home and we build Africa so that we don't make the statements that you made about the political instability, the poorness. Africa is a rich continent.
Again, she really was gung-ho over this Pan-African talk. She was trying to live that lifestyle. She probably did not imagine this being her end. And I wonder what the Pan-Africans are going to say about this, because to me, this is a big blow for the so-called trying to encourage, especially women, to move to the Gambia. It really should be encouraged not to move to the Gambia. And if you are a single woman at this point, like, it should be an advisory to that fact. I don't know if this was over a land dispute, but whatever it was over, it must be over something that she had that others didn't have, or something that somebody else was trying to get that she already got. But the jealousy and the envy and the rage displayed in the way that this lady died was really horrendous. Found in a pit. She had head injuries and dirt on her face. Something about a suckaways. I'm not really sure about how that looks or whatever like that, but something to do with waste, liquid and waste. She was done dirty. She went out really bad at, you know, a lady to be treated like that at the age of 60. Kiki, of course, Kiki Loves Nigeria is going to do another live a little bit later. Maybe she'll have more information, but there was someone that was in our comment section that commented saying that she was missing. And right after that had happened, it turned from missing to she was found in the pit or the well. It's crazy. If you guys have not yet, please like the video. Please share the video. Subscribe to my channel. You said, how you doing, TJ Noor and Alexis? You said, Obito says Africa kind of do be like that, though. Well, that means that we don't need to be like that, though, or be over there like that at all, because this should be a real tell sign for y'all to understand that this is a lot dangerous than what we first thought on. This is really dangerous, y'all. Alexa says, this is sad. I don't believe it's just the Gambians doing this, but them taking each other out. Some people have got to have known that this happened, so I wonder if people are going to fess up to who did it. I wonder if we're going to really find out the cause of why that this had to happen to her. But this is number 6, y'all. And you know what? I heard a murmur from ES earlier. I don't know if she meant to say 7, but she said possible 7 in the Gambia. I don't know if that's to be true or not, but 6 for sure that we have already discussed. And it's really getting outrageous. I don't know what we should be able to accept. I don't think we should be accepting this any further. I don't think that we should allow this to go any longer without really speaking on this. But a lot of people now are trying to call themselves speak on it, but they weren't around when this stuff was really popping off. And hopefully y'all would support the people that was really researching and keeping up and keeping y'all in the know, such as myself and Kiki and Seven Golly. We are the ones that are trying to keep y'all up, and we have discovered that this is really a major issue in the Gambia. And I don't foresee support of repatriation, which I don't believe is repatriation if you've never been, but this so-called notion of return. I think that they should really, rethink that whole thing right there. But of course, the people are being silent for a reason. They're being silent because they're hoping that the dust is going to clear. and they'll go right back to what they've been doing, deceiving the masses, deceiving the masses. At some point, something has got to give.
And everybody else can see that except us. This is why other people are coming here, but we're not coming here. So we need to come here and we need to enjoy the fruits of Africa.
How do you adapt to a country that struggles a lot economically, and even when it comes to basic necessities like food, water, electricity, the on and offs of electricity? You've been in the UK all your life and you've not experienced such kind of things. How are you going to adapt in the Gambia?
Because it's the mindset. If you're coming home to Africa, you have to come home with a different mindset. The UK is the UK, Africa is Africa. And if you want to live here and be part and parcel of the fabric of Africa, you have to adapt. But in that adaptation, you have to be part of the change as well. So, yes, we may not have stable electricity all the time. We may not have, maybe all the things that we thought we needed in the West. But we have to think to ourselves, did we need all the materialism that the West has to offer? Have we been spoilt by the West? Is it really about living the life we should be living as Africans? We are different and we should be living a different life. So it's about adapting, but it's about changing the mindset first.
You look like one of...
Again, it's a big blow to the Pan-African movement. For someone like that, she's been on Dynasty Mir, she's been seen with Black X, she's been with all the different people of the Gambia and all the different spaces of so-called Pan-Africanism and Pan-Africanism talk. And she was like the face of it, had an organization behind her with that, was very instrumental with land situations, handling land dispute cases. So I'm pretty sure she had a target on her back because she was widely known and seen, and she was moving and grooving as a single woman, though. So this should be a prime example of what a cautionary tale is all about. This is another one. This is another cautionary tale. And like Alexis said, if this is not a warning sign, I don't know what is exactly. What's up, Easy X? How you doing? In the Dove Fly KM. One love, my sister. Rest in peace. Whoever did this to you, they must come out and say, because their family will live in pain. Man, to leave her like that, for her to be found like that, and she was missing for a few days prior to that. I mean, what happened? Probably will never know. But that's just a cautionary tale yet again. A lady that believed in this repatriation nonsense and put everything out there for this to be her reality. And in the end, it was a nightmare. In the end, it ended horribly. But we have different people that have now stepped up, like Anja Africa now, rest in peace to her, which is really sad that I can't even get over Anja just passed in not even a week now. And then now this has happened. It really, this is very eerie and sadistic, and something's really going on. Something is really evil about that place in Gambia. A lot of dark magic is going on over there. A lot of dark people is up over there. And it's not safe at all for women. So I'm just waiting for others to speak on. I know that I found one video I'm trying to look for right now, where this person might have known a little bit more about Shakina, Chinedu, because I really don't know her that much. And after hearing her maybe give more insight onto this woman, I'll move on, because there's another video that's talking about land disputes in Ghana as well. So I want to get to that video as well. Please like the video.
this video and subscribe to the channel. Greetings, family, and welcome back to Raising the Vibe. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Unfortunately, there's more tragic news coming from the Gambia. But before I get into the details, I would ask that you please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Click the notification bell so you'll be made aware every time I post a new video. And if you like the content of this video, hit the like button. So, I have learned...
By the way, fair use of all videos for educational, research purposes, and observational purposes for reality checks, realized and lies denied. Thank you all for listening. Please like the video. Let's go.
From multiple sources, inside and outside of the Gambia, that a Black British female has been unalived in the Gambia. And unfortunately, this time, there is no question that this sister was actually murdered because she was found in a well on her property, wrapped in a cloth with wounds to her head. And it is just so tragic and distressing, especially on top of what has been happening with Black American women in the Gambia, per my previous video. The Black female from Britain at issue, this sister's name is Shakina Chinedu. She was born and raised in Britain, but she moved over to the Gambia back in 2017, and that was her place of residence since that time. Now, Shakina did not have a YouTube channel, but she did have a Facebook page, and she had been interviewed on various other people's YouTube channels. So, as is my practice, I looked into what I could find out about her so that I can share that information with my viewers. The information that I have received indicates that this sister was last heard from by her family and friends on February 13th. Today is Friday, February 16th in the US, and it is my understanding that her body was discovered yesterday, on Thursday. Shakina lived in the Brusaby area of the Gambia, but she was building a compound in the Kungujang Mariama district, and I imagine that I have totally mispronounced that, but those familiar with the Gambia know the area that I'm referencing, and that is where her body was found. Her vehicle was also on the property. This sister was 60 years old, no knowledge of anything else wrong with her. But even if there were, the fact that she had wounds to her head and was wrapped in a cloth in the bottom of the well, where they also call it a soak-away pit, certainly disputes any narrative that she died from anything other than an action by someone or someone's in the Gambia. When I first heard of the situation, she was missing and her cell phone was off, which they said was unusual for her. And her friends and family were asking for anyone with knowledge of her whereabouts to contact the police. But in less than a day, I was advised that unfortunately, she had been unalived. What is going on in the Gambia with single Black females? Unfortunately,
a lot's going on, and we got to just recognize what it is and call it out. called it out. It is not safe for single women from the West to deal and relate with a lot of these bumpsters as well, which is, I think, is a big issue, especially if they're allowing people to stalk them and things of that nature is going on. And Movement says, strange how the so-called queen of repack queens has not posted anything on her channel. I know we're enemies, but still, yeah, hardly nobody's saying a word. You also said Unapologetic Niggerpean did a lot of research and videos on Shakina. Can't seem to find them. Perhaps he deleted them. The Love Fly KM, I think there is more. Black X M Movements says, yes, Black X is, I think, used to be friendly with the lady that has passed, but I don't know if they're probably not friendly anymore. This video was a couple of years ago involving Shakina. I think they were trying to describe her then on the video as being a land grabber, which I don't know anything of that sort, but I just want to check out this video with y'all and see what you think.
I know what you say, but I want you to just tell the world a little bit about the works that you're doing at Sanya and the opportunities here to buy land through you, the opportunity to have you as a lady builder overseeing the development of housing construction. Want you to give your contact details as well. Please just share with the family the opportunities to relocate from wherever you are suffering in the West to somewhere wonderful like here in the Gambia.
And yeah, you're right. There is suffering there. There's a good life here. You can see how we're sitting here in the sun right now, being bathed and kissed by the sun. Yeah, it's just beautiful. But yeah, you can come and buy land here. Well, I'd say be cautious. Make sure you speak to people that understand the process. I've been buying land here. I bought my first piece 15 years ago, and I'm still learning the process. I won't say everything's perfect because things change, and people scheme and things like that. And you've got to understand those ways. So you've got to be very careful. You've got to understand the process. But it can be done. It can be done well. You can own your land. Own it. Nobody's coming to get it from you. You can own it. Then you can build your house. A beautiful house that you want, designed the way you want to, build it at a fraction of the cost of what we spend in the UK. I think the average cost in the UK is about 500,000 for a house now. You could build 10 houses, more than 10 houses for that in the Gambia.
In a beautiful style like this one here.
Absolutely.
When you build your own house, it allows you to be creative and inventive. It allows you to bring, your creativity skills to the design table. It's wonderful.
And you can put your energy into the house.
And it allows a lot of jealousy to come and develop about your building in the house and having everything that you got, and others around you are not too happy that you are living way better than they are. What could have caused the demise of Shakina? It's very interesting that she was successful and she had to go out in a very, very disrespectful manner. But apparently she was doing well for herself. She was trying to support others to do the same.
That's important. When I'm building, I pour libation. I invite the ancestors into the bricks. I know how to make blocks now. I know how to mix cement. Everything I'm doing, I put the energy into that because that's very important.
So she was in ancestral worship. That's interesting too. Wow. I believe Anja was into ancestral worship too, or some other type of African spirituality. I wonder if this lady also was partaking in other types of spirituality talk. I don't know. What y'all think? Tyron says, why don't these single Black women go to Malaysian islands? You can get the same effect without foreign Blacks treating you like a tourist bag. Movement says, I couldn't find the ones on Shakina. Have you seen them recently? Fiona's life. I'm from the West and live in TZ. I don't get involved in things that don't concern me. I have money for any emergency. I always keep myself safe as I move around alone. That's good to know that you're safe.
We bring the ancestral energy into anything that we do, because when we're living there, that energy is very important. So what I do here, not only buy and sell land to our people, especially to make sure that one, the process is good, and two, that they're able to buy affordable land, because as I said before, their pockets are not always deep. So there's
So then, in addition to her having land and building a house and doing all those things, she also was, helping out with other disputes and stuff. So she was handling a lot of business of land. And she had a big target on her back, and she really put a whole lot of responsibility on herself. Man.
You can buy land for £20,000, £30,000, or you can buy land for as little as £2,000.
There you go. If you're interested in land for as little as £2,000, this is the lady in the Gambia with all of her legal skills as well, by way of background, to be able to do that and to assist you with that process. So my sis, on Saturday, was it Sunday? On Sunday, I attended an amazing event called Crossing Continents. And there was a door of return. We always talk about the door of no return, the door that our ancestors went through before leaving the continent to go and slave, in the Americas or somewhere in the West or the Caribbean. But our sister Shakina has created a door of return, and you will go through, if you purchase a land on any of these estates that she has bought and is allocating, there will be a ceremony, a door of return ceremony, and there is a door that you can go through to return you and reconnect your ancestors who will come with you back here to Mama Africa land. Yeah, so just so that people can get an idea of the model, please just say a little bit about phase 1. I know you're on phase 4 now, but if you describe phase 1.
It sounds really sacrificial, like these ceremonies that they do, this ancestral worship, all these things, man, may have also some unknown consequences to the people that participate in that. I'm just saying something is going on in Gambia that is not making sense, is not adding up. We have to think about all these things. Are these rituals that's going on around this time? Why was she? Well, we know why she could be targeted, but it's still crazy. Miss D says, what's up? How you doing? The door return, fake as hell. Yes. Dozens of videos on the topic now. Do not like foreign and land sellers. Oh, I'm glad you said that, because after I play this video, I'm going to show that another video.
That will give people a real good indication as to what.
So phase 1 was 40 plots. And would you believe, my sister, they went in 3 days. And it was in time for African Liberation Day. So you see where the ancestors are working. They want to come home and they're making things happen. 3 days. And then, so we sold all the plots and, started all the paperwork and everything. And then I thought, we must celebrate the ancestors with this. And I wouldn't say I had the idea, the ancestors gave it to me. The door of return. As you said, they went to the door of no return. And that no return meant they couldn't find their way home. But we've done the door of return to bring them home. And so on Sunday, we opened phase 1. Estate 1, called the door of return.
I don't know what that's about. I won't put you through that, but she was deeply steeped in all things pertaining to this year return. She really gave up a whole lot of faith and belief in that. And for her to meet her doom such as that, it kind of reminds me of the lady that lost her life in Ghana alongside of her sister. They were long life advocates, into movements and trends, Black power type of thing. Believed in this Africa, go back. And it's just really it's really sad how that ended, how she was found, and how she was treated by the people that she called herself loving. Just think about that. Now, just like I just speculated that this might have been over a land situation, that's one of the possibilities, alongside of them being jealous and envious of her being a landowner to begin with. There's just a number of things that it could have been. Also in Ghana, there is a warning of sorts coming from the Ministry of the Future platform. It says, be careful, diaspora, Ghana land gift not free. So in addition to having problems with land, oh, you know what, before I even get to there, I wanted to show another video. My bad, let me pull back. It's another video I want to play first before I go there. I still want to stay on Gambia real quick, if I can. Okay, let me go to him. Thank you all for coming through. If you could, please like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. This is a sad time that we are immersed in all these different situations that's happening with women there in the Gambia. But there was a bit of a warning about a month ago, and this YouTuber was showcasing this Gambian that was very upset about the land situation in Gambia. And this is kind of like the attitude that's going around in Gambia right now, and also in Ghana, over this land situation that people are trying to get y'all to continue to go and invest money into.
North America sticks up for these people. So I'm going to do that today. All right? Everyone loves to chat do about them. Starting with this guy. Check this out.
Americans are purchasing land in West Africa at the expense of local people. I have more than 7 elders from the Senegambia region complaining over this, serving as evidence. They go, they buy land, inflate the prices, so local Senegambian people have a more difficult time buying rice and other commodities. They purchase large areas of land in the best coastal regions, forcing Africans who want to buy land far into the rural areas. And I have reports that some Americans are mocking the local Senegambian culture, mocking Islam, pushing Kemetic religion, which upsets the people a lot. This American hostile takeover of African land is done in a capitalistic manner, so there's no trickle-down effect, no new roads, no new infrastructure built to benefit the local people. It only selfishly benefits the rich American capitalists. The same people who are doing hostile takeover of African land are accusing Arabs of being invaders, Chinese of being invaders. And to the diaspora, they are smoke screening by shoving African identity politics on us. You cannot blind Uncle Sufi. I know what is going on in the continent. Here's my advice. Africa needs BRICS and socialism to stop hostile takeover of African land by Americans. Moreover, Black history is good, but be careful with some people who talk about Black history.
Even though the lady that just passed or was taken away is from the UK, still Westerners. He's referencing anybody. They are not happy about, more or less, any Westerners that's trying to buy land, get land. They have an issue with that right now. And now y'all should really take heed about these things, because these problems that these people are now involved in with all these land disputes, it's just warming up. And this lady that just passed had a lot to do with that. So the writing on the wall is quite apparent that Gambia is not the place to be. Gambia is a high risk for those who want to trust taking a risk, going to visit there, going to live there, going to invest there. You really are out of your mind if you will lay any type of trust and faith in the Gambia. And this should be a real warning to all of us about the Gambia, and especially single women, to steer clear of the Gambia.
There's a hidden agenda behind it.
So now he talks about the Senegambia region.
So in addition to that, like I said, Ghana has their own issues with their land dispute situation. That's another thing that's about to pop off. So a lot of people's investments is on the line right now, in addition to the drama that it takes with fighting over land. All that money, all that time you got to go back and forth to court and all those types of things, it's annoying. It's got to be.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. What I'm here to talk about is what seems to be prolific right now on social media. And it's about land acquisition, land scamming, dealing with Africans of the diaspora, or if you will, there seems to be of late postings where, especially in the Gambia and here in Ghana, I cannot speak for the Gambia, but I can speak for Ghana. And if I'm going to use Ghana as a yardstick of measurement, I will try to give you some dynamics of, buying land and what you need to be looking out for as Africans of the diaspora. And the first thing is this, is that we're having in Ghana, and for that matter, I've heard in the Gambia as well, there are rumors circulating that the indigenous are ready to fight the Africans of the diaspora. In some instances, it's said particularly African Americans, that the indigenous are ready to fight them because African Americans or Africans in general are taking their land. Now, what Africans of the diaspora do not understand, and I'm speaking for someone who's been on this continent for a long period of time, believe me. And I know what I'm talking about is a fact, and you can take it to the bank. When you're coming to Africa to buy land, or if you are coming as a part of a collective group where, say for example, the chieftaincy or paramount chief has made a pledge to give Africans land free. Well, let me tell you, my brothers and sisters, there is no land free in Ghana. Let nobody pull your leg and believe they're going to give you some land here in Ghana free. And for that matter, it probably is the same throughout sub-Saharan Africa. Nobody's going to give you any land for free. There's a catch to it. Whether you pay for the SCN of the land, you pay for all the administrative charges, and what they call here would be goodwill money. And goodwill money is a certain amount of money that is expected from the recipient as goodwill. I'm giving you a large parcel of land, so the least you could do, I'm saying from the indigenous side, or the chief would say, you could give me something that's goodwill. But what happens is, even before we get there, let's be very practical, which seems to be not the case. There seems to be nothing practical about these land grants that are supposed to be given to the African of the diaspora. And I'm speaking to you because I can use as a classic example FIANCRA. And anyone that's old enough to know about the FIANCRA project will understand where I'm coming from. I won't go into real fine detail about it because it ended with a tragic situation through the FIANCRA project here in Ghana. But what I would say is a lot is to
A tragic situation there in Ghana. What? Another tragic situation, and he can't even tell us about it. Isn't that interesting, y'all? Here you have these land issues that are brewing right now in Ghana. How long is it going to last? What losses are going to be taking effect by the people that believed in this notion of the free land of Ghana? Also, the Gambia is revving up. It's not going to get no better with these land disputes. What are y'all going to do? Pan-African, what are y'all going to do? What are y'all going to say? How y'all going to resolve this? I don't think this is going to go away that easy this time.
learn from that particular project. And I have really analyzed to the nth degree on what Africans of the diaspora should be prepared for vis-a-vis any indigenous chieftaincies say that they are giving Africans of the diaspora land. There's nothing wrong with that. If the land is to be given out, you have to pay goodwill money. It's good. But before you jump on that gift, there should be a council of elders established. And hear me closely on this. There should be a council of elders on the indigenous side as well as the diaspora. And this council should be formatted in coming together to project every iota of the roadmap and blueprint of building that community on that land with the African of the diaspora acquisitioning property. Now, the reason I'm saying that is this. I mean, logically, Africans of the diaspora, we know, when they come to Ghana, come to Africa, the income status and the standard of living is much higher than what the indigenous people in general are receiving. So you would think with common sense, how, first of all, an indigenous finds it very difficult to acquisition property. I mean, buying land. They can't get it. Many don't have the resources to go and buy it. So can you just imagine that you have a chief in the area where you're living and is going to give thousands of acres of land to the Africans of the diaspora, which by all means would be considered by immigration to be foreign nationals until they become nationalized or official resident. But can you imagine the effect that would have on the indigenous who's living around or on that land? They cannot even afford to buy a plot of land, and they are naturalized, Ghanaians or Gambians. And here you got Africans of the diaspora coming who were not born, are from there by heritage, yes, but that's been 500 years gap. So the return now is happening. And you're coming in, you're getting free land. Already you have created a rift by the indigenous people will never accept that. So the long and the short, what I'm trying to say is simply this. Either way it goes, if there is not a diaspora council established even before you move on the land with a indigenous council of traditional rulers, both of them should be on parity as the advisory.
He's trying to get people over, y'all, trying to get these people that's in these tribes to reign supreme over y'all. Y'all, they out of their mind, man. They are out of their mind. They are out of their mind. So either way you go, wherever you go, these land disputes are going to be happening. And this notion of buying land and building your house as if it's a simple, happy story to end blissfully, obviously it's not true. But they're going to keep selling us this tale, and hopefully you guys will send this message and memo in the bottle that this is not going to work out no more, that the gig is up. It's time to move on with the truth. Let me see, where was I? Alexis says they blame these women dying from African bums they are mingling with when all possibilities should be explored. They could be taking each other out over money and jealousy land. It's definitely a hateful emotion, something probably to do with money, something to have to do with somebody else living better or doing better or perceived as being doing, better status. I've been telling people this was going to happen since the year of return, Nakmizi says. So have I. I've been ringing the bell since 2008, 18 rather. Alexis follow says Nak did. Just think it's weird that these weird deaths are happening around only a certain group of repats. Yeah. The Western woman. Yes. 6, y'all. 6. Maybe even a 7th. There was another name that was talked about, but I don't know if that's true or not. But still, 6 is a high number. It's a number that should be alarming us all. You said Pan-Africans think they're going to get any restitution or sovereignty in Africa by taking a DNA test, horoscope, or claiming to be a Slav sold to American when they're not given handouts for being dark-skinned. Okay. Rob Walker, I did a DNA test that cost me 300 pounds, I guess, and found my family tribe in Africa, and I'm a white British. Is that right, Rob? Great to hear it. Tyron says, why they keep saying Africans of the diaspora when that only pertains to subjects of Roman Carthage that began being Tanzanian, so-called Bantu sub-Saharans called their shit Bamara, Fina, etc. I don't know. Yes, Hotel Babel. Give me a break, Tyron. You don't throw me off on what I'm doing. You got to come with some, makes more sense, please. This is like the game movie Clue, but the Pan-African version. Yes, it is. Again, why are the Pan-Africans so quiet? This murder of this lady, Shakina Chinedu, they should be really shaking in their boots, but they should be saying something more than what they're saying. Peacemaker, I wish you could have been on. She was talking about it too. Oh, yes, there's a lot of people now talking about what we've been talking about, but the ones that y'all should be really supporting is Kiki Loves Nigeria. She's the one that has really brought forth all of the cases that we've been talking about. She's been paramount in talking about the deaths of what's happening in the Gambia. In fact, she'll be doing a live today, either 2 or 3 today. But yeah, and also I'm keeping up on what's been going on overall in Western Africa. That's what I've been focusing on. From time to time, I'll talk about what's going on in America too. But I feel like this facade that they're trying to sell us needs to be broken down bit by bit with showcasing the truth versus their lie. And so I've been working on doing that. So this platform is truth bearing. Hopefully people will respect what we reveal. I reveal for y'all. Let's go.
Advisory committee, full-fledged with the authority to arrange how the integration of the African diaspora is going to mesh into the family property or the property that they're buying without offending the indigenous person or making the indigenous person feel that their land is being hijacked. It should be from these councils that I am proposing, the Diaspora Council of Elders and the indigenous traditional rulers.
So they think that this is a way in which to solve and resolve the problems of the big cause and effect of differences of culture, differences of worship of God, differences of spirit and of mind. there is no way that you can unify with someone that gulf of difference between you. And so they make it seem like everything is possible if you just let all these strange random people reign supreme over you. That's what he's saying. In other words, what's up, Kiki? How are you doing? And you said there is a God. Of course there is a God. Yes, there is. Easy Access, you're doing great work at For Black. Please protect your live streams. Yes, I'm trying. Tyron's going to have to start talking with more sense than just playing. Hopefully he'll get it, or I'll just skip his statements altogether. Pan-Africans don't tell you when immigrating to Africa, you need a good standing army to fight knuckleheads, which ain't particular cause we don't have weapons manufacturers, military tactics, or vehicles. We're not in Africa. We're not trying to go, Tyron, to Africa. So why even have the argument about having a military about Africa? You're not trying to be there. So that's kind of pointless to even bring up. Okay, yeah, she was not FBA. She was actually from the UK, but nonetheless, she lost her life in a drastic manner. The Rock, she was definitely done dirty and taken out of this world, you know. Found in a pit with dirt on her face, and her head was battered. She was beat up. She was harmed. Ain't no telling what she went through before she lost her life. And then she was lost for a few days before they found her. And these deaths are just happening like it's nothing. It hasn't even been a week since Aja's died, and I'm already talking about somebody else dying horrifically. Like they elevated it. Yes, it's really terrible. You said, I remember the Frankaha land giveaway in Ghana when I was a penny. Didn't know it was left like that. I never wanted to buy land in Africa. I did buy land in another country, but never Africa. What's up, Charlie Shaw? You're numb, Alexis. I feel you. This is, like I said, this is a big blow for Pan-Africans. She represented a whole shebang when it came to Pan-Africans. She was a soldier for Pan-African talk. And it did not get her in the end, you know, a blessing. It was a horrible way to go. Now, I wonder who's going to get her property, who's going to have her land, who's going to have her house. I wonder that kind of thing, because once people leave, they're not going to tear it down. They're going to use it, especially if it was made in a really good way. And you know that she probably more than likely had a nice looking house. I don't know why we don't stay out of Africa. I hope that they get the message, though, because it's not a good thing to go to Africa, in my opinion. Acquiring land to buy your own house is one thing. Foreigners flipping hundreds of acres for high profit is just wrong. I just wouldn't trust buying land in West Africa, period. I don't know what else to tell y'all. From what I'm telling y'all and showing y'all and what's going on as fast as it's going on, it's a trip. Let me see. I think I had one more video to show of her. Okay, so this repatriation thing that she was selling, she was a proponent of the repatriation, like Black X is on. So her and Black X, I think, had instrumental relations previous to, I think, falling out. Kiki Loves Nigeria would know more about that upcoming on her videos. She'll do more research in regards to the specifics with what Shakina went through. But this is a little taste of what she was talking about. This video Okay, y'all, this thing is tripping, but let me hurry up and show this video real quick before it gets too late.
Good day, viewers, and welcome to the first episode of the Face of Repatriation. Throughout history, of course, we learned that the African was subjected to so many inhuman treatment, and over the years, it has been a call upon the Africans who have been in the diaspora to return home and connect with their roots. So, if you don't know, I'll let you be informed that this is actually happening. And today, Gambia is starting with this first episode of the Face of Repatriation, and we are meeting with a lady who is born and brought up in the UK, but decided to come back to the homeland, the Gambia. Welcome, madam.
Right?
Good.
Naka Subasi.
Bang.
Wow.
Okay, I'm glad he's already speaking Wolof.
I'm trying. So, thank you for inviting me.
Glad to have you.
This is important that you talk to people like us that have decided to return home because it's important to us. So thank you very much.
It's not my pleasure.
My name is Shakina Chinedu, and as you said, I'm born and bred in the UK to Caribbean parents. So that's just where the boat dropped us off.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if you look at my DNA, you look at my blood, you look at my lineage, I'm African. So that's first and foremost. African, via the Caribbean, via the UK, back to Africa. So it's a full circle.
So the triangular slave trade took you through from Africa to the Caribbean, to Europe. Now you also decided to come back to complete the journey.
Absolutely.
More than your name and where you.
Yes, condolences to her family and friends, anyone that knows her. I don't really know her, but we're trying to share a little insight as to who she was, what she was representing while she was in the Gambia, because she had been there for a number of years and she was involved in a number of different things. And so this interview is really describing what she was like.
What more can you tell us about yourself?
I'm a mother of three. I'm a lawyer. I'm a holistic practitioner as well. So that means I practice natural health, natural eating, natural products, everything to keep the African body healthy. Quality of life, longevity, as you can see. My breakfast is mango and banana this morning, with some other bits, spices and things in it. So these are the types of things that we need to keep us healthy as Africans. This is the type of food that we're used to. These are the type of things that grow in Africa that our bodies are used to. So it's good that we should continue to consume those things to keep us healthy. You know, the Western diet is contrary to our bodies and our DNA. But if we stay with the natural side of things, because we are part of nature. Nature is us and we are nature as Africans. So we have to work with nature to ensure that, you know, we keep ourselves healthy and fit and long livers, because we are special people.
Oh yes, we are. Nobody would doubt that. I hope you is here with me after the interview. But let's get this right. You are born and brought up in the UK. Why do you decide that you should come back to Africa?
Listen, the UK is not for us. It's not for us at all. You know, so I was born and bred there. So you would think that I'm very much accepted there 100% because I'm a citizen there, I'm born there, I resided there. I should be saying to you, it was a great experience, but it wasn't. And it never will be, because the people that run the UK will never accept us Africans as part of that corner of the world. Remember, they call themselves the British Empire.
Sure.
But we all know how that empire was formed. You know, they went around the world raping and pillaging and colonizing and doing all manner of things to other people. Not just the Africans, but the Indians, the Chinese, anybody else that you can think of. So they have a nature that they think they're superior to other people, particularly the Africans. So this is why we had the history that we had with the empire, the so-called empire, but I'm not even going to give them that respect.
Again, she was one of the types of Pan-Africans that seemed to have like worshipped Africa. She really thought highly of Africa, and like I said, in the end, it really did not fare well with what she imagined. What's up, XDMC? How you doing? Let me see what you said. Hey, what's up, Seven Galley? How you doing? And Peacemaker says, the family needs you and people like you. You're doing the Lord's work for your people. God bless you. Thank you. Everything I get, God bless, is always a good thing to hear. Chinedu sounds Ibu. Her last name is rather different. It is. What's crazy is that this is the 6th death, not real outrage, no real investigation, and we just take the L. If it wasn't for YouTubers like you and the Seven Galley, we wouldn't have even known. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Seven Galley definitely does a lot. In fact, I'm glad you said that, because I did want to play a video of hers before I forgot. She was really into this return, though, y'all. She really was a go-getter in that regard.
So we need to come here and we need to enjoy the fruits of Africa.
How do you adapt to a country that struggles a lot economically, and even when it comes to basic necessities like food, water, electricity, the on and offs of electricity? You've been in the UK all your life and you've not experienced such kind of things. How are you going to adapt in the Gambia?
We need to come here and we need to enjoy the fruits of Africa.
How do you adapt to a country that...
I mean, it's just really eerie how it all ends, though. You know, they really, in the beginning, just like Anja, she was so optimistic. They were all so optimistic in the beginning. 2-3 years ago, all happy, joy, smiles, you know, good things to talk about with this return. It's fresh, it's new. Nobody really knows you. You have all this abundance of energy about yourself. You really think you know what you're doing. You're taking the horn of life in your hands and you're trying to make it move. And, you know, for single women, it's just like really, really tragic, because you're going against the norm. You're going against what men don't like to see in women. And I think the hatred for the strength of Western women that speak up and say things sometimes might also add to the injury of what is going on. But being successful, period, I think got her in trouble. Having a business and having her own land and being an independent woman, kind of flaunting it. Not, maybe she didn't mean to do it, but I think people probably took it that way. Yeah, so let's get back to this repatriation talk. But I wonder, wow, I hope that there's going to be an investigation to really figure out who's responsible for this. Because that's pretty messed up that she had to go out like that.
Empire, but I'm not even going to give them that respect to call them an empire, because the way their empire was got is different to how our empires were formed. Yeah, they stole theirs, we formed ours naturally. So, you know, when we talk about the Mali, the Zimbabwe, the Songhai Empire, that was just African history naturally. I've never heard of a story where the African has left the continent, gone somewhere else, subjugated people to inhumane treatment, taken over their land, stole their resources. I've never heard of that. In all the history that I've read, I've never heard of that. You know why? Because it never happened.
You said you born and brought up there, but you are not part of them, and you will never be apart. What will you say to the argument that they have now realized that they have gone through some historical blunder, and now they're trying to rectify that? Can you not now still be fitting into the society?
Where are they rectifying it? I haven't seen it. I've not seen it. Look, I've been around since the mid-60s. My parents were around even before then. My parents went to the UK in 1960. There were signs on the doors of people you went to rent. No blacks, no Irish, no dogs. Yes? This is what they were saying to people.
It's too serious. No dogs.
That's what they were saying.
They're equating you with dogs?
With dogs. So this is in the 60s. So I came along in the mid-60s. I faced the same thing at school. You wog, you coon, where's your tail? You come from the jungle, go back to Africa. My children came along in the 80s, and they still got the same message.
She really felt that, you know, Africa was her destiny, was her journey to try to influence, you know, and make that a reality for her and others that thought like her. So she really walked the walk. You know, but unfortunately it cost her life because it was taken from her by some jealous people or people that hated her. There's definitely some anger behind killing her like she was found. So people are talking about wanting to do an investigation. People are talking about, you know, delving in. I think this definitely should be one of the cases that are talked about too. Wow. Seven Golly says, that's crazy. I have many cousins who were born in Barbados, but raised in the UK and made their own families there. They're thriving. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. Alexis Fowler says, I just remember her forming Exodus Alliance with R.J. Mahdi and Unapologetic European making videos of her. Huh. Did she really Exodus Alliance? I heard that R.J. Mahdi was accused of scamming. I don't know if that's true or not, allegedly. I think is a Nigerian. Don't want to speak ill of the unalive. Last I heard, Shakina had a mental breakdown and returned to the UK for a period of time. Really? You heard that? Eye movement? Sounds interesting. Hearsay. Yep. Hearsay. Exactly, for black. Truth tellers dropping. They're all over the place. SDNH says she was British with Caribbean parents. The last name may have been taken on later in life. She said Caribbean parents, but she didn't specify what Caribbean she was. And what does her mental breakdown have to do with anything? Yeah, she got murdered. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed upon arrival until you settle down and find out your mistake. Yeah, once you settle in, you're going to see stuff you ain't never seen, and that's what's happening to these women. Do you have any proof? Kiki says that might determine her behavior, which may have been offensive to locals. Eye Movement says. Easy Act says, these women, rest in peace, unfortunately seem to be sacrificial warnings for others that are seeking opportunities or homeland in Africa. Yeah, they feel a bit sacrificial, ritualistic like to me. It doesn't feel like it's a normal occurrence that's going on. It's some dark, deep-rooted, weird stuff out of the blue that we could never, ever put our finger on, but you know, it's something that's really weird. Pacemaker says you was one of the first people to bring this to light. Without you, this subject wouldn't be getting as much attention. You deserve your flowers. I know these women are smiling, looking down at you. I appreciate that. I really do, because, you know, I'm trying my best to like forewarn the ones that are not paying attention, because we are really being directed in so many different ways right now. A lot of people are chattering at us about so much stuff, about us spending our money us trying to do this, us trying to do that. And right now we're not doing anything for the most part, except for the ones that are taking chances going to Africa, and they're meeting an early demise. So like I said, it feels to me we're being squeezed out in America, and that we're meeting our doomsday in Africa, either financially or in the literal sense. We're finding ourselves dying out. And this should be a warning to everybody about how significant it is to not to worship other, again, cultures and stuff like that, like most of these women were doing. They put so much faith in Africa, not knowing nothing about Africa like that. But they were speaking so highly about unifying with their people, and it's just, it really, the irony of it all for most of these women, and the ones that we can't even know what happened, but it was an end that was suspicious and off-putting. Most of these cases really are off-putting, where you cannot understand it to save your life. And you know that there's a lot of foul play and some sketchy characters that's in the middle of all of it. And there's nothing you really can do. You said randoms, nobody cares about hearsay anymore. Yeah. I only talk what I know, not what I think or hearsay. Movement says, bring evidence, not hearsay. She's supposedly from Antigua. Is that where she's at? Everybody thought 4 Black was crazy. Now look, I know it's not funny. Now y'all caught up to me. That's really makes it kind of special. Senegali says, facts. This is what you've been saying all along. 4 Black, I think I saw videos 5 years ago where you were warning people about Africa. Salute. Yes, you know, but I was called a hater of Africans. I'm like, I don't know any Africans to hate. I don't care for Africa, though. And I don't think a lot of Africans care for Africa either. So I don't understand why there's a big issue about me not wanting to be involved with Africa. It's like most Africans that are trying to flee don't want to be in Africa. You know, I don't have that same emotion for them. That's kind of odd. The DBI office in South Africa, I didn't get that. Okay. Yeah, but this should be a cautionary tale. I want to play Anja. I'm gonna look for a video of hers real quick, but I want you to listen some more, y'all, to this lady that put everything on the line for this repatriation movement that she was creating. She was instrumental in helping it to be there in the Gambia. So there's going to be a lot of people that should show up to Kiki Loves Nigeria, because I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a lot of explosion conversation that's going to going on over there. But let's listen to this some more.
It's not going to change. It's the same thing. You know what? It may change slightly. It's more stealth now. Sometimes it's like, oh, did that really just happen? Because they've changed the way they say things now. So they may not say, where's your tail? You know, go back to Africa in so many words. But they will ask you other questions. Like, I'll give you an example. I've always been asked, where are you from? So I'd say, oh, I'm from London. No, but where are you originally from? So you see the narrative. I'm saying I'm from London, so that means I'm from the UK. But they're saying, no, you're not from the UK. Where are your people originally from? So that tells me we don't accept you here as an English person.
So there's no Black Englishman.
Well, people call themselves Black British, but you are not, because they will always do things to remind you that you are not part of their system, whether it be in the school system, which is very white, the curriculum, the workplace is very discriminatory, the court system, the police, every facet of institutional policies and practices in the UK is against the African person. And when I say the African, I'm encompassing all people who have skin color like me.
So me and her would not have gotten along, because I don't believe in this notion of trying to reclassify people into African against their will. And she was unfortunately one of those types that was a proponent of trying to reclassify us. And speaking of, y'all don't really, y'all not really American. She already said that she's not really from the UK. Her family didn't arrive in the UK until the 60s. So yeah, it's fair to say that she's not really from the UK, but you can't really say the same thing when it comes to indigenous Black Americans like me. This is all we've known. We don't know anybody in Africa. We don't have a home country. No way, no how. So there's no comparison. And those types of Pan-Africans, unfortunately, would like us to be comparable to their situation and take away our Americanness. So I really wouldn't have gotten along with her just for what she represented, but that still is not a good way for her to go out. That's still not cool that had to happen to her in such a manner that she was treated like that. But Anja warned us, y'all. Anja warned us. She warned us.
See on the other side. Blood like dirty water. Blood like dirty water. You screwed up the order. Malicious daughters. So word done went out and everybody know you dead. Finis, canceled. They don't even ask how. Your spirit's sitting in the next room watching you birds pick apart everything you built. Cherry on top, the one you least expected, gave you that special seasoning in your plate.
Rest in peace to Aja Africa. I still am always thinking about her. She's been on my mind still. It's like it's too fresh, I guess. But it's really a shame that already it's six women have died under suspicious situations. Nobody really knows the reasonings besides the last one, which is murder. But everybody else has question marks about the way in which they left. And these Pan-Africans got some explaining to do. But they're always going to try to find a way to blame the women and make it seem like it was their fault for this happening to them because they just could not get along with how a woman is supposed to carry herself. That's how they're going to flip it. Watch. They're not going to blame it on the culture. They're not going to blame it on the people that participated in murdering this lady. They're not going to look at them as anything being bad about it. Like we're supposed to just unify with that. They're going to talk about unifying with that. Oh, we just need some councils. We need some elderly people to step in and no, that is not going to work out. I hope that they understand that. I hope that you guys get the memo that that's not going to work and that most of y'all, if you had an idea to go to Gambia, hopefully you will stop thinking about that because it is not a blessed place to be, I believe, especially for single women. Whatever's going on over there is kind of sadistic. It feels like a cult, like Anja Africa has stated. It feels very eerie and wicked. And no one's really outraged about none of this stuff. They're just like, oh, well, get in groups. Travel in groups. How about not go? How about tell people that, let's go back to Africa. Routine is done. It's curtains. Yeah, it needs to be on a travel advisory fax, Seven Gali. You said, Alexis, yes, don't know why they haven't already. I guess they don't want to mess up the continent and America relations. Sorry they took you out. Yeah, man, that's crazy. I love Anja too. The FBI needs to investigate all at this point, Alexis says. Yes, like dirty water. So where do we go from here? Hopefully we can start figuring out some of this stuff, but an investigation has to happen. I just, I'm still willing about all this stuff. I hope that we'll get more answers. We got to get more answers. So if you guys want a song that you want to hear, let me know. I could play a song or two before I go. I say rest in peace to Shakina, Chinedu. May her soul be rested. I'm sorry I don't know her like that, but I'm sure that Kiki Loves Nigeria is going to bring it because she knows the lady. She knew the lady, rather. And she'll bring on a different perspective because I think she'll probably have a guest that also want to talk about her on her channel. But could you guys please like the video? Please subscribe to my channel. And if you have a song you want to hear for the lady that just passed, I don't have one in mind that I could play. My mind is kind of blank right now. Let me see. Let me go to my other phone. Okay. But the Pan-Africans got a lot of explaining to do. They got some explaining to do. And I wonder, are they going to play dumb like they don't know nothing? They don't understand anything. I appreciate everybody watching. And since nobody has dropped a name of a song, I'm just going to conclude the video. Please like and share the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Bless up.